and peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in, climb on in. Forgive me for the mucus sound in my throat. I'm cleansing, I'm on these herbs, and I'm pulling a whole lot of mucus from my sinus cavities, and it's draining. So y'all forgive me for that, you know. You have to do your seasonal cleanses, especially living in this environment that we living in now and the way that they at us. You most definitely got to do this cleansing, y'all. So you know how that go. Y'all climb on in, climb on in. So y'all see what we got going on today. We're gonna talk about basically how the world and the environment as we know it is about to change. And it's going to be two options that you have to be able to survive, sustain, and thrive into what's coming. And it has a whole lot to do with your health, have a whole lot to do with your cellular memory, and just how they truly are. They have became experts in hijacking consciousness, y'all. And we see that the metaverse is rolling out. We see that they got the Oculus out now where you can literally put these things on your face and be in another virtual reality, and you can be literally tapped off and cut off from your external environment. And you know, this stuff is the reason why we sick right now. I mean, if you look at the food and how the food's going and how the food is literally disappearing out of stores, all the FDA regulations, how they're releasing all these different, you know, COVID strands and shots. I mean, like everything is coming full force, y'all. And the only way up out of this is by unifying. You know, I was talking to a lot of people on my YouTube page and stuff early, and they was talking about, will Africa save us? No, Africa will not save you. They were like, well, what about ancient Americas? No, ancient Americas won't save you. The only thing that's going to save us is unifying as a collective consciousness and start having conversations and building nationhood. See, the nation is what's going to save us when we build a literally a so-called African nationhood. That's where our salvation is at, because then we'll be able to work together as a unit and use our minds to get up out of this simulation that we in. Y'all, we are literally stuck in the matrix, y'all. And we can prove it time and time and time again. And we are stuck inside of a simulation. You don't know what the real world look like. You don't know what real things smell like. You don't know what real things even look like or feel like, because as I said in my last video, you are stuck inside of a sensory deprivation tank. And I wanted to show y'all a picture of what I mean and what I'm talking about. And then you can see what they're doing and how they moving us into this metaverse. And this lines up with the COV ID19. This lines up with all the radio 5G tower networks that they've been putting up. I mean, this stuff lines up with the whole transhumanism agenda, because they're trying to live forever. You know, you have a people that are not prokaryotic cells. You have a people that are naturally a violation to nature. You know, the sun violates them. Nature violates them. You got hair. I mean, it's all types of things. When they are just being regular them, nature kills them. So they have to do things and have to merge themselves with cyborgs and with robots and things like that to be able to survive. Well, if you've been eating the same diet as this other culture, if you've been living the same lifestyle as this other culture, if you've been weakening your lymphatic defense system as this other culture and done embedded your culture into their culture, then you are dying the same. And now your genetic weaknesses is now being passed down to the generations just like theirs is. And now you have to do the same things to survive. If you look at the genetic weaknesses in our children, you got children coming out with cancer, leukemia. You have children coming out with thyroid issues. You have children coming out bald-headed and not growing hair. This is called genetic cellular memory that is being passed down. So what if you can look however you want to look, you can be whoever you want to be, but all you have to do is put on, you know, some glasses and tap into a new universe. And in this new universe, you can be whatever you want to be. In this universe, you can be fat as hell in real life, but you can be skinny in a new life. You can have a slabby stomach in the real life, but in this virtual reality, you can have a six-pack and have abs. You can be poor, broke as hell, and lazy in this real life, but through the simulation, you can have Maseratis. You can have anything you want in life. That's what it's coming to. But I'm here to tell you, it is already like that. You see that? They're just upping the scales now. Let me show you what a sleep deprivation tank is, and y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about. I just pulled it up on my screen. This is a sensory a sensory deprivation tank, or what they call a sleep deprivation tank, right? Now, what the whole trick of this is all psychology. You get inside of this different tank, right? And when you get inside of this tank, what happens is it cuts you off from the external world, right? So now you can't hear from outside this tank. You sure in the hell can't see outside of this tank. You can't feel outside of this tank. You can't taste outside of this tank. You can't do anything. When you in this tank long enough, scientific research in the database, when we have our seminar on the 26th in Atlanta, we're gonna bring out all the research on this stuff. When you in here for more than 15 to 20 minutes, the mind starts to do peculiar things. And what the mind does is the mind starts producing these different types of chemicals, epinephrine, norepinephrine. The hypothalamus gland start producing certain melanin neurotransmitters. The autonomic nervous system cuts on. And then when the autonomic nervous system cuts on from the adrenal glands, you start producing something called acetylcholine. And then acetylcholine produces something called acetylcholinesterase. And what this acetylcholinesterase does is it creates you a virtual reality to keep you from falling dead or going into shock, because all your senses have been cut off from its external environment. And that's the same thing that's happening to so-called Africans in America, Africans in Africa, Africans in Australia, Africans anywhere you want to say on this planet. We have literally been stuck in a matrix, and our minds have been adapted to this virtual simulation because we are trying to run away from our culture. We are trying to run away from our consciousness. We are trying to run away from the things that have been done to us, all the traumatic experience, being at the bottom of the totem pole, always being the last on the food chain, just everything that we're going through as a people. And what they do is they spend trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars a year to keep you addicted to the simulation. You addicted to the Maseratis, you addicted to the designer, you addicted to the TV shows, you addicted to the rappers, you addicted to the Fendi hats, you addicted to the Gucci's, you addicted to everything. Everything that you're spending your money on in this simulation don't have nothing to do with the political power of your people, the educational power of your people, liberating and freeing your people. It all have to do into bettering another people and bettering another nation. Just ask yourself, the moment that you get your check from the government, right? Because if you're working from any system or if you're working for yourself, the moment that you get paid, what do you do with that money? Don't it immediately go back into the hands of the oppressors? Don't it immediately go back into the hands of somebody else, a clothing store that you don't own or that your people don't own? You are literally sending these people to colleges, sending these people to schools to be doctors to kill your ass. You're sending them to become major CEOs of food industries to kill your ass. You're sending them to school to become pharmaceutical pioneers to kill your ass. You are sending them to school to become police officers to pull you over and to shoot you down in the streets. You are literally sending them to school to become government officials and politics and judges to give your ass 100 years if you break one of they man-made laws. So if we look at this from what it really is, our consciousness have been hijacked to believe in a system that doesn't work for us. And then the moment that we get rewarded for being in the system, we turn our rewards right back over to the system to keep the system going to oppress us. And we wonder why that we're in the position that we're in. This is so psychologically embedded that we don't even see that all of this stuff is fake. All of it is fake, y'all. Just think about how fake this stuff is. You think you free because you have your own car, you have your own house, but you have to get a passport just to travel abroad. That's not freedom. That is not freedom. You see that? You think you free and you have the exercising of free speech, but then you got fact checker. We can't even get on here and say what's on my mind. I gotta say COVID-19 for my channel won't get shut down because we don't own our own platforms. You don't own the land that the house is on. And then it's in the government mandate, even if you own the land, if it's a crisis that come in play and you have food and you have stability and you have properties built on your land. This came out in Georgia first. Do you realize that the U.S. government can come to your land, take your food, and lock you up if you refuse to give over your land? And this is in a time of war. In a time of war, if you own land, they can take the land from you, show you that you don't own nothing. But you're in this illusion. You think you own land. You think you free. You make enough money. You own your own clothes. You can fill your refrigerator up with all of the different types of chemical foods that you want. And the whole time you are killing yourself, because the real you is in slavery. The real you is in mental enslavement, because you refuse to actually unite globally with other Africans and literally raise the regime for we can free ourselves from the simulation. You are stuck in a computer program and don't even know it. And this is how you know. Why do you like the things you like? Huh? Why do you like Gucci? Because you seen a famous rapper like Gucci. You seen a famous rapper put on Gucci and Prada, and that's what's appealing to you, because you're in the simulation, and whatever you see in a simulation is what you become addicted to. Why is your favorite food pizza and spaghetti and not fruits and vegetables? Because these things were fed to your sensory senses. They have hijacked your eye senses. They have hijacked your touch and feel senses. They have hijacked your sexual senses. They have hijacked your ear system. Why do you like rap music? And then if you listen to the rap music, it's talking about degrading you, woman. It's talking about killing you, brother. But why are you so addicted to it? Because they have found a way to tap into your senses, and they have hijacked your consciousness. Everything that you like, everything that you love, and everything that you live for works against you. Have you not realizing this? Everything that you like, everything that you love, everything that you spend your money on works against you. And you telling me that this is an actual reality? No, it's not. No, it's not. Why are you so hypersexual? Why? Because they showing sex on the TV. They showing sexual colors when it comes to them promoting things on the television program. They selling sex all inside the music. It's sex everywhere you go. Then they putting sexual hormones inside of your fake food. So you got sex here, sex there, sex there. So now you're becoming hypersensitive. Now you busting nuts everywhere, and notice all of your phytonutrients is in your sperm. All of your life force is in your sperm. All of your amino acids is in your sperm. Most of your trace minerals, which means come from the light above, is in your sperm. Like zinc, copper, gold. That's what actually creates and makes a zoogote. This zoogote is what becomes the endometrium. What grows on the endometrium lining of the cervix. This is where you get your embryo from. And we constantly just wasting our sperm and addicted to sex, and you killing and draining the life force in you. Or they put you in a state of fear, fight or flight, where your adrenal glands is producing adrenochrome all day, which the elites and the reptilians love to suck and drink on adrenochrome melanated fuel blood, y'all. They love that. They live forever off the fear. They live off of fear. Just kind of like the vampires. And look, y'all think this stuff be fake and spookism, or y'all think this stuff be taboo. And this is real stuff that's going on right beneath your feet that is hundreds of thousands of miles deep within this earth that you think is a core in the middle of the earth, when it's a whole nother world inside of this earth, y'all. We have to really, really start getting these things together. You don't know what actuality and reality really look like, because you are in this damn sleeping sensory senses deprivation tank right here. The Matrix is real. It's time for you to wake up like Neo did, be pulled up out of this sensory deprivation tank, and unplug yourself from this simulation. Unplug yourself from this matrix, because your brain and your whole neurological aspect is actually stuck inside of a codex, and this codex is what they're feeding you through reality. That's why you are being distracted on every level, because the moment that you clear the chatter and the moment that you silence and tap into oneself, you will truly realize that you are a slave, and you're going to do everything in your God-given might to get out of this mental enslavement, period. And the only way up out of this is by waking up, realizing that you inside of this sensory deprivation tank, and unifying as a people. You have no other options. Well, you do. Another option is this. You can join their transhumanism. You can take the mark of the beast. You can let them give you that shot and get all that nanobot technology. Then when they click on their artificial sun and they turn on all the 5G tower network towers at once, they can actually update your consciousness. Or you can do it the natural God-given way that our ancestors have been doing for thousands of years and do it naturally. But you cannot do that if you're plugged into the simulation. It's time to break the simulation, y'all. We have to. If not, then it's either dead or the mark of the beast. Ain't no coming back from the mark of the beast. And all that true mark is, which is not 666, 666 is you. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, which makes you a 9-carbonated being. You're a 9-ether being. That's talking about the melanin carbon constituent chains that makes up your DNA, your deoxyribonucleic acid. When we're talking about the mark of the beast, we're talking about merging yourself with artificial intelligence and becoming a transhuman. Literally transhumanism for you can live forever. I am a robot and all these other different things. What's that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger play in, bro? Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. Y'all think these movies, look, the messages in the movie get the picture. Y'all think these movies just been out all these years? No, this is prophecy coming to pass. And you don't know it because you stuck in a damn sensory deprivation tank. And this is causing all of your sickness, y'all. And I told y'all in my last live, do you know the longer and longer you stay inside of these sensory deprivation tanks that you start losing the acetylcholinesterase, and acetylcholinesterase is what makes acetylcholine, and acetylcholine is what opens up your lymphatic system and your kidneys for kidney filtration, for you can get rid of all the metabolic waste and toxins and dead cells from up out of the body. The longer you stay in the simulation, the weaker your lymphatic system gets, because the weaker your neurological manifestation and aspects gets, and you can no longer have that exchange of melanin neurotransmitters, because these melanin neurotransmitters is what communicate with hormones. These hormones is what keeps your body alive, because it's what opens up your blood to get the blood flowing properly. The life is in the blood, and it's what opens up your lymphatic system for you can eliminate all the different types of toxins from this environment that's building up in your system that's killing you. You can't do that when you stuck in a simulation, because you too busy in the simulation. You're not in real life working out. You're not in real life eating healthy. You stuck in a simulation eating pizzas and pizza rolls all day, giving your children Roman noodles, taking them to McDonald's and eating McDoodle burgers and all types of things, and filling them with soda pops, with Sprite, killing their kidneys and adrenals, and then you out running the streets chasing Negroes or chasing women at clubs. Everything is a whole distraction. You haven't realized that, dang, my senses have been hijacked. Why do I like the taste of things that is so bad for me? Why everything I eat feeds my inner being and feeds all of these different types of parasites that's already within me. And then you wonder why you're being hijacked and you got different entities thinking from you. And then we pulling out tapeworms, fluke worms, fascioloscus, Booski worms, hemith worms, thread worms, hook worms. You are a manifestation of all different types of entities because you stuck in a simulation and you leaving your senses wide open to be hijacked by demons. Then you think a demon is a shape-shifting being that got horns and a tail. That's not a demon. A demon is that damn 5-inch tapeworm that I just pulled out your stomach. A demon is that 6-foot hookworm that I just pulled out your vagina. Them are the real demons hijacking your consciousness. But how did they get there in the first place? How did they get there? Who put them there? That's what you got to start really, really realizing, y'all. We are stuck in a fake simulation and think this real. Notice everything that you like, everything that you're addicted to kills you. Think I'm playing. Name something. Name something. If we're going to go to designer, all these designer clothes makes you broke. Think about who own all these. And I'm not even knocking designers. If your priorities in order and you want to spend, I'd rather spend it on on one of my nation people, though. A person that's a part of this global African movement that have their own clothes. And that's the thing. We need builders. We need people that's going to be sewing. We need architects. We need metal workers. We need different types of people that's into mathematics. We need astrologers. We need prophets and prophetess. That's what it takes to truly, truly build a nation. Until we do that, until we unify as a people, we're going to be going everywhere else for everything we need. We are totally dependent on another nation of people. Totally dependent. And you so lost in the sauce that you don't even realize that. When is the last time that your money went to your people? When? I'm finna go get my nails done. Who you going to? The Chinese people? Huh? I'm finna go get my hair done. Where you going? To get some Brazilian hair put in your hair? Some real Indian hair put in your hair? I'm finna go shop for some clothes. Who you finna go to? You finna go spend it at the Gucci store, which said he hate niggas. You gonna go spend it with Tommy Hilfiger, which said he hate niggas. Huh? Oh, you finna go buy a car. Oh, who you gonna buy that from? Oh, you gonna buy that from, you going to German? Because German got all the dope cars. I got one. You gonna go to German? Because we ain't got no black people actually making cars that own car manufacturing companies. Do y'all see how we are the lowest when it comes to politics, when it comes to economics, when it comes to health, healing? We don't own no pharmaceutical companies. We don't own our own libraries. Even the research that comes from us have to come from another people. So you telling me that you are in a real world when all the information that is being inputted inside of your sensory senses come from another people and not you, but you living in the real world, you're really free? Every information that comes to you come from another people. Except for me, of course. I'm giving you real information that come from a lot of black people, like Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Yakana Ben Yosef, Dr. John Henrik Clark, Dr. Du Bois. I mean, we can keep going so on and so forth, but I'm speaking on a level of people that is not this woke and this conscious. Every information or every electrical magnetic impulse that is feeding you these codes and these frequencies is coming from different cultures that's not from inside of your culture, because you have no culture, because you lost your culture. You have lost your identity. You have failed and you have fallen from everything that makes you you. You are walking around being another person, thinking that you are actually an individual. You are a puppet. And that's why you're sick. We have violated nature so much. And the thing about nature don't care if you two, nature don't care if you sick. You can be 2 years old with a mouthful of teeth. You eat candy and you don't brush those teeth, guess what nature gonna do? Rot them the fuck out. Them teeth is falling out. You see that? You can be in nature and you eat so much. Guess what? You're gonna grow a belly. It's gonna become fat deposits, because all of these sugars are gonna become glycogen and glycagon. It's gonna fatten up the liver. Nature don't care how old you is. You go on that building and jump off the building. Let's see if you get up. See that? These are laws. These are laws of nature that you cannot violate, and we violating every fucking law in nature and wondering why we're the most sick. Wondering why we sick. And I'm talking about eating animals' flesh. That is a violation against the law of nature. That is a transgression and a sin against the law of nature. I don't care what book you're talking about or what you can. We talk about facts. We're talking about things that can be proven. I'm watching people eat meat, and I'm watching the meat kill these people. Whether you say it's organically farm raised, and we raised this since it was a baby calf, and we never gave it any antibiotics and no growth hormones, and we seeing even those people are dying from the carbonic acid ash blowback that it has on the body, because you are violating nature. All this technology is killing us. Y'all see how technology is this? I mean, it's coming so far and far and far in the world, y'all. Think about all the radiation that comes from these things. Think about all the radiation I'm getting just by sitting in front of this computer talking to y'all now. This camera staring at me, all these different lights. This is radiation. I'm going to have to constantly clean from this stuff. So every time you talk to me, 1 minute I sound good, the next minute I'm coughing up mucus because I'm constantly having to cleanse the violation. And it shouldn't have to be like this. And the moment that we step out of the simulation, there will be no more violation. Look, as long as we stay hooked up and our umbilical cords stay hooked up into another culture and another people, you will always be sick, y'all. Period. Point blank, period. It's time to cut the umbilical cord. And it's time for us to come together and form our own African National Union, y'all. That's the only way up out of this, unless you're going to become a damn cyborg. It's either transhumanism or it's unification. We either have to unify and we have to create our own nationhood, or transhumanism. I mean, that's it. These are the only, look, there is no other options. You can get on your knees and pray all you want. You can pray all you want. Even in your Bible, it says faith without works is what? Dead. You're going to have to put your hand to the plow, y'all. Straight up. Religion have fucked us all. Let's just admit it. It got all of us chasing our tails and bickering, fighting, and arguing with one another. Nobody have solutions, though, because you too busy mad at the brother that shares the same DNA and ancestral line of you based off of their God concept. And if you look at most of these religions, the diets are horrible. It's the reason why all of us dying in the first place. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Look, it's time to quit sugarcoating shit. It's time to quit trying to please everybody. I'm going to say this because he Muslim. I'm going to say this because I don't want to offend him because he a Hebrew Israelite. I'm going to say this. I don't want to offend him. So I'm going to say it this way because he 5%. Fuck all of that. We are dying at a fast, alarming rate. Earth is dying. It's purging itself. They done created an artificial sun, y'all. Do y'all realize the times that we are in? Prophecy is truly coming to pass. And y'all are playing around and ain't nobody putting their hand to the plow. And we constantly looking up, waiting for someone to save us when the kingdom of God is when they're in the midst of us. How would there be a midst of us if we don't unify? The kingdom of God is within the midst of us. It says, look, you ain't going to get the kingdom of God by observing the heavens, by looking here and looking there. For the kingdom of God is amongst you. It's in the midst of you. How can it be amongst us in the midst of us if there is no us? If we us, U.S., united spiritually. If we are not united as an African Afu nation. Whether you want to put Hebrew in front of that, whether you want to put Kemet in front of that, whether you want to put Indian in front of that, whether you want to put Hinduism in front of that, you can use all the words you want. If we don't not unite, we gonna die. And that's why we sick. Individualism is killing us. That's what's killing us. Because if we came together and we restored our nation and we depended on ourselves, a lot of these things would not be happening. Straight up. And that's just the facts, man. That's just the facts. But anyways, y'all ready to get this started? Type in some nines. We're gonna answer some questions. Yeah. Hey, make sure y'all come out and check us out. The flyer will be ready tomorrow. We're gonna be where we gonna be at? Nabi? We're going to be at the Epic Center in Atlanta, Georgia on the 26th, y'all. All the information will be out tomorrow. We're going to have an amazing presentation. It's called the Risen Black Messiah Alliance Conference. And look, y'all, it's time. It's time. Look at this stuff. This is you right here. Black man, black woman. This is what you got over your eyes, hijacking your senses right now. Right now, you have people inputting informational codes and electrical magnetic frequencies through your sensory senses to make you see and believe and be a consumer and buy what they want you to buy. Notice you're the number one consumers in the world and you don't know why, because your taste buds have been hijacked. Yes, that's what they call protein, salt, water ratios. Yes, sugar, salt ratios. This is to hijack your taste buds. Because you have melanin, meaning your taste buds is better than anybody's taste buds on planet Earth because you have melanin in your taste buds. Then they get you with the music and with sound wave frequencies because inside of your ears and your eardrums, you have melanin. You hear sounds that nobody else hears. You taste things that nobody else tastes. You see things that nobody else can see. Your peripheral visions is way better than theirs. So they're using your melanin, your blackness, your chemi. Your Kemet means to be black, and they're using it to hijack your senses to make you a consumer rather than a producer and a creator because you are an original God. And through this hijacking of consciousness, you are becoming sick because all of the radio electrical magnetic frequencies, all of these different radioactive frequencies are coming inside of you, and your body is producing all types of byproducts from this simulation of what we're going to call GMO fake foods. Notice we're eating fake foods. From this microwave system where you can't even cook your food with the sun, you putting it inside of ovens and microwaves. You're even fakely cooking your food. Not supposed to be cooking it anyway unless Shemesh Ra cook it. See that? So now you're cooking fake food. You're putting fake things inside of your skin. You're listening to fake vibrational frequencies and music. Beats is not even made with the elements of earth anymore. They used to make drums with the skins and bamboos of trees and with the skins of dead animals. Now drums is made on an electrical magnetic machine that you plug into a wall. And then you listening and it's speeding up your age. It's making you older. Like you don't realize, then they put the 808 in there, will keep you literally stuck inside of your root chakra, which is your sexual organs. Like we are stuck inside of our own technology, y'all. I wonder if this is what wiped out the Egyptians, man. Notice right after all the technologies and stuff they created and after the pyramids and stuff, they was just like wiped from the world. It's like technology is straight killing them. Even with the Sumerians, when they and Enki and Enlil and Marduk and all of them, once they built all of this stuff and they came to Sumeria and created the human civilization to dig up gold and stuff like that. Once they got the gold to create them intergalactic airspace weapons to rebuild their Earth, they died. Like it seemed like every time that we get high up in intelligence and we create technology, the technology is what annihilates us. Ooh-wee. That is deep. That's deep. That's deep. We are killing our own selves because we don't want to be natural and just stick to nature. Notice, if we just would have stuck to nature, there wouldn't be a such thing as plastic. You wouldn't even have to burn the plastic and mess up the ozone layer. See that? There wouldn't be a such thing as refrigerators because you're supposed to be eating your food naturally. See, if you eat something naturally, I ain't never seen a gorilla go stick a banana in the refrigerator. I ain't never seen a gorilla go eat something like, oh, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator because I want to save it for later. I ain't never seen that in nature. See that? The further and further you get away from nature and the further and further you violate nature by creating technology that destroys nature, the more and more you destroy yourself as a people. That's deep. That's deep. But anyways, let's get it in, y'all. Let's get it in. Y'all better quit destroying nature. Nature is killing us. And like I said, there's only two ways up out of this. It's either unify or transhumanism. Straight up. Them the only thing. It's either unify globally. Globally, y'all. Not just here in the Americas. We got brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. It's either unify or it's transhumanism. And a lot of y'all done got this shot. So a lot of y'all are already in step 3. Step 4, 5, and 6 is coming next. A lot of y'all have already been updated. And that's what the nanobot technology is. They already cut on the artificial sun. Y'all see what they're doing? We have the metaverse, which is a fake reality. We have the artificial sun, which is the fake sun. The moon is already fake. It's an observation tank already. We have all these different fake things that's coming into play. And then you have been living in a false reality because your sensory senses have been hijacked because you somewhere in this damn tank right here. You don't even know it. Like Neo was. Yeah. Like Morpheus was at once. And you got to unplug yourself from this matrix. You don't even know that you sleep. You don't even know that you are enslaved. And we're going to break this stuff down in the seminar, y'all. We're going to really break it down so you can have a very, very advanced or vast knowledge when it comes to this, and you'll be able to teach it to somebody else. And once you realize this and you break away from this, this is where your healing and your health is at, y'all. All right, now check this out. First question. It says, I've been dealing with Uroplasma provum, pretty sure this is a bacteria, provum, for over 5 years with no true relief. I've went to multiple specialists in multiple states with no solution or answer to what the issues were. My symptoms are chronic yeast infection, so automatically we see chronic yeast. We already know what yeast is. Yeast is a living organism. All right, now yeast come from poor sugar metabolism too. You know, and that's where you come called fermentation. So I already know that you are not metabolizing your glucose, whether you're eating bad food or good food. All food breaks down to glucose. And I see that you're not metabolizing it right, so it's fermenting. But when it's fermenting, it's molding. And then this mold is turned into yeast. When yeast start overpopulating itself, that's all yeast is. It's called Candida yeast. This is a bacterium, or what we're going to call the microbiota. When it starts overpopulating itself, they call it an infestation or the infection. So I can tell you right now, what's in control of your sugar metabolism is your adrenal gland. So right off the back, we're going to write on your paper that you have adrenal problems. You have adrenal problems automatically because you have yeast infections, all right? It says which never resolve. That's because your adrenals are fatigued and your adrenals sits right on top of your kidneys and they're not getting the right stimulation or the right melanin neurotransmitters they need to update and to kick on the autonomic nervous system for you can start utilizing your minerals, for you can start utilizing your sugars, and for you can start utilizing all of the electrical impulses that's coming through the intrinsic nervous system, which is ran by the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, which is nothing but your adrenal glands, which never resolves. Lower abdomen pain. Now, where is it at in your lower abdomen pain? You probably literally have pelvic inflammation, you know? You probably got pelvic inflammation. Vaginal discharge at the point in time that it literally felt like my ovaries was on fire. See that? You have reproductive inflammation. That's what's going on with you. You have very bad reproductive inflammation, and that's why you're feeling it in your lower abdomen, and you're producing a lot of yeast inside of the body. So I already know that you got parasites, because guess what loves to chew on yeast? Fasciolopsis boyski, which is what creates herpes, whether we talking about herpes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to 16. There's 108 strands of herpes, and 16 strands out of that 108 strands of herpes is prone to so-called human beings. This is where you get herpes 1 from, where it's at the ganglion nerve and it breaks out in your lips and in your face. Herpes 2, what is in the genitalia area because it's in the sacral column of your spinal cord. Herpes 3, or what they call psoriasis. Herpes 4, what they call eczema. Herpes 5, what they call shingles. Herpes 6, what they call chicken pox. Herpes 7, which they call herpes epidermis, itchy elbow disease. We can go so on and so forth. How many herpes you have, and it's all have to do with this yeast, Candida, Fasciolopsis boyski parasite. All right? So we already see that we finna start talking about sexually transmitted diseases. I can tell you that right now, and we ain't even halfway through this thing yet. This is a whole paragraph. All right? So it says vaginal discharge at the point that it literally feels like my ovaries is on fire. One good thing is that the vagina canal is opening up and you're discharging the mucus substance that's coming from in it. It's better to get rid of the mucus than keep it in, because mucus is the defense. But what the mucus does, it goes inside of the body and cover up all the acidosis, and it neutralizes the acidosis with calcium monotriphosphate. So whenever you see mucus, that means that acid is present. So I know for a fact, since you have this discharge, that you have a lot of acids in the body. So what we're going to write on your paper is acidosis. That's why you're getting a discharge and mucus response. But thank God that the mucus is coming out and not staying in. Because if it's staying in, that is your near HPV cervical cancer. That is your nearest fibroid. That is your future polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's your future tumors that's inside of your reproductive organs, because you're not getting rid of the mucus that's holding on to the uric acid, carbonic acid, all these phytic acids, these different types of, sulfuric acids. The body have to relieve itself of acids by way of the mucosal membrane if the body is not working by way of kidney filtration due to the lymphatic system working properly. So it's a good thing that you're actually discharging. All right. It says literally walking causes significant pain in that area. Yeah, you got pancreatitis. Write that down. So you got pancreatitis. Your pancreas is inflamed, and you have to catch this before the acids starts chewing away at the pancreas bone, because once you start getting rid of the pancreas bones, this is why you see a lot of hip disease and a lot of hip problems in older females, because they had a lot of different things or STDs go untreated, and they treated them with bacteria all their lives. And that's why you see 60-year-old black women getting whole hip replacements, whole knee replacements, because these different acids and bacteria chewed away at the bones of the pelvis. It says after multiple failed attempts with antibiotics, there it go. Y'all know what antibiotics means. Anti means against, bio means life. So we see that all the good bacteria that made up her microbiome is probably gone, because they probably gave her amoxicillin, penicillin. All psyllin mean is mold. Whenever you hear psyllin, you mean mold. Mold. So they gave you all mold to combat mold. Isn't that the dumbest stuff ever, Nabi? They give you mold, or they give you mold to get rid of mold. That's the most, if you look at the philosophy and how they do things, man, it just don't make no type of sense. So now all the good living ancestors that makes up your body, because the body is made of 150 trillion cells, 100 trillion of these cells are made of bacteria, or what you call the biobifidum bacteria, the candida bacteria, prokaryotic cells, some eukaryotic cells. And what these cells and what these bacterium does is they in control of breaking down your food. They in control of your thought patterns. They in control of helping melanin neurotransmitters be communicated with the rest of the body. Like without the bacterium, there is no you. You see that? You see what I'm saying? That's what actually helps you break down and decompose your body when you die. But it's the same thing that helps you live. The only thing the bacteria does is change its roles based off of how you treat the environment. So you see that they done got rid of all the good living entities inside of your body. And what antibiotics does is get rid of macrophages and T cells and B cells. And these macrophages is what stays inside of what you call the lymphatic systems, potentially the lymph nodes, and they eat out and chew up the acids. That's what bacteria main function is when it comes to the human body, is to chew on acids. So if you got acids in your vagina area and acids chewing away at your pelvis area, literally, and you feeling all this pain, and they give you all these antibiotics to get rid of the bacteria, then the bacteria was chewing the acids from keeping you from the pain. Now you're going to be in more pain because you don't have the bacteria there to do its job and its functionality, which is to chew on the acids. So now you're going to need the 3 bitters off back, because the 3 bitters, especially bitter 1, comes with its natural bacteria that you need, especially with the quassia chips, the bitter bark, the bush tree that I get from Jamaica, all of them different herbs inside of my 3 bitters, particularly bitter 1. That's where all of the natural occurring bacteria, lactose billus bacteria is at, or what they call a biobifiidum bacteria is at, that's going to actually reconstruct itself in the gut and in the vagina flora to bring you a balance of homeostasis. So 3 bitters off back, you need the 3 bitters. It says, I started to do my own research because nothing was adding up. All of the STD tests were negative. See that? And that shows you that these things are really not sexually transmitted diseases. You're literally just swapping acids and bacteria. I hate to call it a disease, though, because disease is an illusion. It says, and it was negative for over 5 years, except for the yeast. But yeast is STDs. Yeast is what actually causes herpes. Yeast is what causes trichomonas. Yeast is what causes Gardnerella. Like, yeast causes most of these STDs. That's why you get the yeast discharge when you get gonorrhea, when you get trick, when you get herpes, and when you get all these other things, because yeast is associated with all these things because it's nothing but living organisms that's metamorphosizing inside of your body. We talking about the same bacteria, but when it transmutate and metamorph, it changes its name. The motherfucker will go from Ascaris to Fasciolopsis boyski, to the hemp worm, the trichomonas, to toxoplasma, all different. It will metamorph and change its name the more it grows and mature inside of your body, but we talking about the same organism. You see what I'm saying? So we can't say yeast is not a sexually transmitted disease, because it is. And it metamorphs into all other types of things that they got different names on it. But it's all talking about the same thing. Just the same concept as disease. They always want to follow the mucus. If the mucus is in the chest, it's called bronchitis. If the mucus is in the fingernails, it is called toenail fungus. If the mucus is in the sinus, they call it sinusitis. If the mucus is in the blood, they just don't call it different things wherever the mucus is at. They do the same thing with the bacteria. Wherever the bacteria is at, and depending on the maturity and its growing stage, they will change the name of it, but we still dealing with the same organisms, y'all. Don't let these people lie to y'all. So I began doing my own research, and I discovered, look, check this out. So the first bacteria she called a Uroplasma parvum, right? Now she said with her research, this one is called Mycoplasma genitalium. What's the difference? The difference is, look, if you listen to it, the difference is nothing but the location. The Uroplasma is in the cervix. The Mycoplasma genitalia is in the section